Welcome to my first plein air trip of 2025, where I will take a couple of my sketchbooks with me and draw outside. My name is Alex, I'm a professional artist, and I am so excited to be sketching outside again for the first time in 2025. It's February at the time of recording, and the Swedish winter is almost at an end, but it's still pretty cold outside. It's just above 0 degrees Celsius, it's been raining on and off for several weeks, and I can't even remember when I last saw the sun. But even though I miss the sun, I actually find the colors and the atmosphere out here quite beautiful this time of year. It was a calm and quiet day. There wasn't a single person around once I headed into the woods and looked around for a good spot to sit down. I'd put together a narrow palette specifically for these weather conditions. I'd done some swatching in my studio the day before to identify the best colors for this time of year, and in the end I decided on a range of 4 muted and earthy watercolors and 5 oil-based colored pencils. I was bundled up in several layers of clothing to be able to sit still in the cold for a while. It can actually be quite difficult to draw with a thick jacket on. I always find that the sleeves end up getting caught in everything, which sort of pulls me out of my zone and interrupts my flow. I try to get around the problem by pulling my right sleeve back about halfway up my forearm, but then of course my hand gets cold a bit faster. And that's just kind of how it is when you're drawing outside in cold weather. You need to have realistic expectations regarding what you can actually do, and also the amount of time you'll be able to sit outside. It's a good idea to aim for a very short trip when it's cold. You'll need to work fast, and you'll probably not end up creating something amazing, but that's not the point as I see it. For me, the point is to just be outside and get fresh air during a time of the year when it's so dark and so cold that you're forced to stay inside for most of the time. It's also about capturing a very specific mood within the landscape, which only comes around once a year. This was a quite spontaneous trip, and because there are so few hours of daylight, I wanted to be out the door really quickly. Normally, when I give myself a bit more time to plan, I like to fill a thermos with hot tea and take that with me. It's a great way to stay warm, especially your hands, and if you're painting with watercolors like I am, it's perfect to take a sip while you're waiting for the page to dry. For this trip, I didn't have any tea with me, but the temperature wasn't too bad. And there was barely any wind at all, which makes all the difference. I grew up in a part of the country where the temperature would sometimes drop to around minus 20 degrees Celsius in the winter. And although that's cold enough to where you can feel the inside of your nose freeze when you breathe, there was barely any wind, just this sort of frozen stillness that made those low temperatures quite bearable. Now I live in a different part of the country where it never really gets to those temperatures, but it gets extremely windy here instead. And even if the temperatures are just around plus minus 0 degrees Celsius, the cold just seeps right into your bones. And those minus 20 degrees seem quite pleasant in comparison. But today the cold wasn't too bad out here. I still worked quite fast and kept my sketches loose and rough. Watercolors dry very slowly when it's cold, so I'd brought 2 sketchbooks with me that I could switch between. Even so, the paper wasn't entirely dry when I started using my colored pencils, and that created some really interesting textures and effects. I just had to be very careful so I didn't ruin the paper. One of my sketchbooks was a watercolor sketchbook with 180 GSM paper. I made the sketchbook myself, which is something that I do more often than not. I like to be able to decide what paper to use, the amount of pages, and also the format of the book. Plus, I also find it fun to decorate the cover in creative ways. Sometimes I like to keep it basic with just cardboard and bookbinding tape, but other times I like to wrap the cover in scrap pieces of fabric that I have at home, which just makes the sketchbook so unique and so much fun. I don't know if any of you have had this experience in the past, but I've had a few of these really fancy, kind of pricey, leather-bound sketchbooks, and I just end up feeling a bit intimidated by them, especially if they're large, like A4 size. Somehow it just makes me feel like the sketchbook is something valuable, something that I need to be careful with. And I would say that that's probably one of the worst relationships you can have with your sketchbook. Your sketchbook should be like a friend who never judges you, who you feel so comfortable with that you can just be yourself completely. Your sketchbook should make you feel like you are free to explore and play and mess up. I've also noticed that these kinds of large fancy sketchbooks that I've had in the past, they have like 1,000,000 pages in them, and I just get so frustrated with having the same sketchbook for a long period of time. I just really don't get along with them. So that's why I started making my own sketchbooks a few years ago. It allows me to create exactly what I want. The other sketchbook I'm using here, the smaller square one, is something that I bought. I only really make my own sketchbooks from A3 and A4 sized paper, and if I were to make a square sketchbook, I'd have to trim off a lot of excess paper, which just feels like a huge waste. This particular sketchbook is a Talens art creation 12 x 12 centimeters, which is really cheap and accessible in my local art supply store. And I think because it's so cheap and so small, that also helps to remove some of the feelings of intimidation that I felt around those big fancy sketchbooks that I used to have. The painting kit I'm using is actually something I made myself recently. Last year I was outside drawing a lot throughout the year, but I got quite frustrated with the fact that I had to pack and unpack my art supplies before and after every single trip, because I was also using those same art supplies in my studio. It just took a lot of time to collect and pack everything I needed, and I also had to make decisions about what tools to use every time. It just felt like a huge time sink some days. I just wanted to be able to grab a kit that was already prepared so that I could be outside within minutes. Initially, I looked for field kits online, but the problem was that they all came with paints included, and I already had a ton of paints. They could also be quite pricey, some of them, and unfortunately none of them checked the boxes for how I wanted to use the kit. So I ended up designing and making my own kit. It was a super fun project, and in my next video I'm actually planning to share how I did it so that you can make your own kit too if that's something that you're interested in. The kit has space for a cup of water, 4 watercolor pans, 2 tiny palettes, and 2 pen cases that can hold water, paper towels, and my favorite pens and brushes. It fits in my lap even when I also have to balance a sketchbook. So overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I also find it so much fun to make things from scratch and use my creativity to problem solve. Towards the end of my trip, the sun actually came out all of a sudden, and it made me really happy. It changed the lighting conditions of the landscape drastically, of course, but I didn't worry too much about that. It's part of the charm and the challenge of painting outside. You just have to roll with the changes and improvise. Once I'd filled 2 sketchbook spreads, I decided that it was time to pack up and head back home before it got too cold. I really liked working with the colors I'd chosen for the day. They worked really well together and matched the weather conditions perfectly. My favorite sketchbook spread is the smaller one. The larger sketchbook was more difficult to work with. Watercolor paper naturally is quite good at holding water, but that also means that it dries slower. And out in the cold, it dries even slower. The watercolor paper in the larger sketchbook hadn't really dried much by the time I started drawing with the colored pencils, and the result was that the paper had no tooth and the colored pencils barely left a mark on it. The small sketchbook, on the other hand, dried really fast, and I was much more successful at layering the colored pencils on top of the watercolors there. So that's probably my biggest takeaway from this trip, besides just having a great time. I'll save my watercolor paper for the warm months and use thinner paper during the winter. I hope you enjoyed tagging along with me for this short drawing trip. Give this video a like before you leave and consider subscribing to my channel. I share tips and tutorials for artists as well as my own creative journey. So go ahead and subscribe if that sounds like fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay creative.